Hi, Elliot. Jeff Bradley here. I want to thank you for replying to my Facebook business page post. So I wanted to take a look at your website and see if I could find anything that I could suggest to you that you might be able to do to improve your Google ranking. Because obviously page one is where we want to be with our websites. That's where all of your future clients are. They're all on page one, and very few people look past page one when they're doing a search. In fact, according to Google, 92% of people never look past page one. So that's where we need to be. So I took a look and I found that you are in Boca Raton, Florida. I grew up in Clearwater, the Clearwater, Tampa Bay area, Indian Rocks Beach. I live on the West Coast now, just a little bit north of Seattle, but I still get back to Florida quite often. It's kind of where a large part of my heart is still in Florida. So anyway, I wanted to zoom in on your area and take a look at the surrounding environment and see what's going on. This is a real unique situation in that you've got several areas with very high population centers that are about equally as crowded. You're all in around the 95 to 125,000 population range, and of course you get down to Miami, which is 500,000. So all told, this entire area is well over 1 million population. Now typically what Google likes to see, first of all, is a business ranking for their local area. Now when you do that, typically what will happen is you'll get a big ripple effect and you'll start to show up in the listings for the surrounding areas. However, when you have large population areas all around you like this, and they're not very far away, they're like 10 miles separating all these different areas, you don't get a lot of ripple effect. Each town, each area is kind of like its own individual little ecosystem. So I think what we would have to do in the long term would be, of course, get you ranked for Boca Raton, and then create unique location pages for each one of these areas, and then get you ranked that way. When you create a location page for another area, Google now looks at that page as local to the new area that you're trying to get listing in. So I think that would be the way to go. So let's go back to your website, and the first thing that I wanted to take a look at is your site hierarchy, or the way it's structured. That's a big deal to Google in terms of how well you're going to rank. Now, right now, you have a really good, logically thought out and ordered structure to your website. And you've got, the key thing that you have is you have you have separate pages for all of your different products and services and topics that your website covers. So ideally, in the long term, what we would want to do is we would want to take all of these services, these products, one at a time, and optimize those pages so that they would capture traffic, searchers who are looking specifically for all of these services. That way we're casting with a very wide net. There are people who are specifically looking for homeowners insurance who are not interested in pet insurance, and vice versa, or maybe they're interested in dental plans, etc. Everything. Now, all of these services have their own individual high traffic volume keywords associated with them. So what we would do is we would research and find what the highest traffic volume keywords are for each one of these services, and then optimize each individual page for that keyword so that we would begin to capture the unique traffic that is looking specifically for all of these pages. And that includes this section and this section, of course. However, right now we are on your home page. Now, Google places special importance on the home page, and ideally what Google likes to see is one overarching umbrella keyword that kind of represents your entire service. Like, what would the main keyword be that could be considered an umbrella keyword that covers all of your services. And there are lots of different candidates for that, but my thought was perhaps insurance agents. And that would be a keyword that would cover pretty much the majority of everything that you offer here. And reason I chose that is that it is a pretty high traffic volume keyword right now. In the Boca Raton area, it fluctuates. There's about 100 to 300 searches per month for that keyword. And that does not count all of the variations of that keyword. And it also does not count all of the keywords associated with all of these services that you offer. So you add all that together, it's considerably more than 100 to 300 searches per month for all of the things that you offer. And which is to say that there's lots of business to be had in the Boca Raton area. And you're probably not getting very much traffic to your website from areas outside of Boca Raton right now because of that ripple effect that I mentioned earlier and all of the high population area high population areas that are surrounding you that are all having their own individual search traffic. So anyway, that sums up your site hierarchy. Now, what I want to do is I'm going to go over, and what I did was I used the search term insurance agents, Boca Raton, Florida. And like I said, there are about anywhere from 100 to 300 searches per month just for that specific search term alone. And here we are. Now you're in a unique situation that pages 1 through 3 are pretty well dominated by directories. Now, according to Google, 70% of searchers skip over the directories. There's lots of reasons for that, and Google has done many searches and studies on that. And there's lots of interesting psychological factors involved. We could discuss those at some point if you wanted to. But the bottom line is that far and away the most traffic is going to the organic listings. And I mentioned earlier that 70%, or actually 92% of people searching never look past page 1. But the only exception to that is when page 1 is dominated by directories. Searchers are going to spill over onto page 2, and they're going to spill over onto page 3, which is happening because the organic listings on page 3 are getting traffic in the double digits. Page 3 is not quite up to the 100 searches a month area. But anyway, there are organic spots to be had here. So here's what I want to show you. Now, the first thing that Google looks at when trying to rank you is your title tag. Now, these blue lines of text in the search results, these are all title tags. Now, the title tag does not appear on your website, but if you go into the back editing section of your website, there is a text field called title tag, or sometimes it's called page title, and that is where you can type in what you want your title tag to be. And that is going to show up as this blue line of text. Now, the title tag tells Google what it is that you want to rank for. It tells Google the keyword that you want people to use to find you with. And it tells Google what your website's about and where you're located. So, there is a format that Google looks for in title tags. And that format is keyword dash location dash and your business's name. So if those three components need to be in your title tag, when Google sees those three things, Google knows precisely what you're about, what the keyword is that you want to rank for, and what area you're trying to rank in. Now, let me just point out right now this important fact that you need to remember. You don't have to have the greatest website in the world to rank onto page 1 of Google. All you have to do is know what Google likes, what Google tracks and measures and looks at, and then you just have to be a little bit better at those things than all of your competitors in your area. So if we know the format for the title tag, we want it to be according to that format, of course, but as you can see, a lot of these, if you study most of these title tags, they're not complying 100% with the format. They're just doing a little bit better job at it than everybody else in the area. So let's go back to your website. Now I'm going to open up this scanning tool, and right now we're going to find out that your current title tag here is Healthcare to Wealthcare, Elliot Glass Insurance. Now, this is telling Google that these are the keywords that you want people to use to find you with. Now, first of all, nobody searching for any of your services would even know to type in your business's name, and they would never type in Healthcare to Wealthcare. No one would ever even know or think of to type that in. And there is no location indicator here. There's nothing here telling Google that you are in Boca Raton or that you're searching for traffic in Boca Raton. So Google doesn't understand anything about what your website is about or where you're trying to rank. Let me show you how critical this is to get this correct. If I copy your title tag as it is, copy, and I'm going to open up this blank tab that I have here. I'm going to click your title tag into the search bar, paste and go. Watch what happens. Boom, you come up number 1 on page 1 of my new search. That is how critically important it is to get the title tag correct. But as I said, no one would ever know to type in these search words in their search. Now, this leads me to number 2 item that Google looks for when trying to rank you, and that is your H1. Now, the H1 is a line of text that appears somewhere on the top of your website. And the H1 also tells Google the keyword that you want to rank for and your location. And the H1 needs to match precisely what you have in your title tag. It needs to be word for word the same. Now, right now, you have H2s, you have an H3, but you have no H1. So Google is looking for the H1 and does not find one, and there is no match. So when this happens, Google is now entirely confused and doesn't know what your page is about or where you're trying to rank location-wise. When this happens, Google now will red flag your website, or at least this page, and you will not rise up in the rankings. So what we need to do is fix that. We need to create a title tag that is in the perfect format that Google likes to see. And for this page, I would recommend, assuming that we're going to use insurance agents in our example, the title tag for this page would be Insurance Agents - Boca Raton, Florida - Elliot Glass Insurance. And then we would create an H1, and you can place the H1 anywhere you want in the top. And it will also say Insurance Agents Boca Raton, Florida. And of course the H1 through 5 text fields are found also in your editing section of your website. So once you have a title tag that's complying with the format Google wants to see, and you have a matching H1 for that page, now there is a crystal clear channel of communication between your website and Google's algorithm. Now Google knows precisely what you want to rank for and who you're trying to draw to your site in a search and what area. So the next thing that we would tackle then is the content. And we could discuss that at another time, but basically the content needs to include your main keywords for each page. You know, for example, if we were on your vision page, the content would represent, the topic on this page. And then this page would also have its own unique title tag and H1. So that's how the entire structure would operate. Now, everything that I mentioned here represents about 50% of your site's ranking power. The other 50% lies in what's called your backlink profile. And you probably know what backlinks are. It's when an outside website links back to you. And when that happens, a portion of that site's ranking power will flow back to your website and contribute to your ranking power. And that ranking power is called your domain authority. And it's on a scale from 0 to 100. So I looked up on this scanner, Elliot Glass Insurance. This is a measure of your domain rating right here. And it's on a scale from 0 to 100. And basically all this does is it compares you relative to all of the other insurance agencies in your area. So it's kind of showing you where you fall in relation relative to everyone else. And you have 15 backlinks and 12 linking websites. So I took a look at all your competitors. And your number one organic competitor is BBB Insurance. They have a domain rating of 10. Now that's really not that high. Typically in a population size like yours, businesses on page 1 typically have domain ratings in the, they can be in the 30s, 40s, 50s, 60s, upward. So what this tells us is that there's not that big of a gap between the top ranking competitors and you. Competitor number 2, Blue Sky Insurance, has a domain rating of 5. The next competitor I looked at was, I'm not sure what the abbreviation is for this company, FIGFlorida.com. Domain rating of 8. Fiorentino Insurance, that's who they are. So I just wanted to show you this to give you kind of a feel for where you lay, or the lay of the land, how you're positioned in relation to your competitors, and to show you that it's not that far outside your reach. In fact, it's not out of reach at all for you to close the gap between your competitors and yourself and actually grab one of those spots, the top organic spots on page 1 and even on page 2. So, and what it would take is a campaign of building some high quality backlinks for you that are superior in quality to all of your competitors, to increase your domain rating, to get all of your things on page 1 dialed in. There's lots of other factors on page 1 that I haven't covered, but I wanted to show you the top ones that Google looks at to rank you. So anyway, if you want to have a further conversation about all this, to find out what it would take to really dominate the rankings for your area, and then possibly even to create location pages so you can rank in the surrounding areas, just reply back to me, and we could even get on a quick phone call, and I could answer all your questions. That's what I do. I get businesses ranked onto page 1 of Google, which is where all your future customers are. So get back to me if you'd be interested in having a conversation about that, and I'd be happy to answer all your questions. So sorry for the length of this video. I wanted it to be 10 minutes, and here we are. We're approaching 19 minutes. So I appreciate your time, and hope this is of value to you. And by the way, I'm going to attach along with this a PDF that I made that kind of recaps some of this, some of the details of this. So anyway, thanks for your time, and I hope to talk to you soon. Take care. Bye now.